So one of the things we discussed with the whole electrons is what's called emission spectrums. And when you look at an emission spectrum, you've got you got to think of the electron. So here's my nucleus, okay, which is positive. All right, it's got protons and it's got neutrons, and it's got all the electrons surrounding it. Okay, so here's what you need to realize is that this right here, this is my ground state. Okay, that's the first energy level, so N equals 1. All right, the next one, this would be N equals 2. Okay, this would be N equals 3, and this would be N equals 4. All right, so if I jump from an electron, if I am at N2 and I go up to N4, I have to absorb a certain amount of energy, okay? But if I am at N3 and I go down, I'm going to emit energy, and I'm going to give off a certain color of light. So here's what you need to know is that there are, if we look at, let me get the thing to move like it needs to. So let's say there's 3 kinds of light. If I'm at level 3 and I go to 1, so anytime I stop at 1, anytime you go back to ground state, it's going to emit UV light. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I'm 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1. If I go to 1, I'm going to give off UV. This has the shortest wavelength, the highest energy, so therefore it has a high frequency, right? All right, so if I'm at, let's say I'm at level 4, but I stop at level 2. So anytime I stop at 2, meaning I'm falling back to 2, I'm going to give off some form of visible light. Now, I gave you specific colors that you need to remember. So remember, if I am 6 to 2, it's violet. 5 to 2, it's blue. 4 to 2, it's green. And 3 to 2 is red. So the last kind is if, let's say I'm at level 6 and I drop to level 3. Anytime I drop to 3, I give off infrared, okay? Infrared has a very long wavelength, so that means low frequency, which means low energy. This is why I had you understand the relationship between these. So when you're looking at these, sometimes we may look at this and say, well, 3 to 1, that's not a big amount. 4 to 2 is, it's around the same amount of energy, but you've got to look at the kind of light.
Hanson, please come to the front office. Dustin Hanson, to the front office, please.
You've got to look at the kind of light that it's given off. So UV is higher on the electromagnetic spectrum in terms of energy than what infrared and visible light is. So now let's look at, so I'm going to draw some things. Oops, let's go back this way. I forgot. So let's say that a lot of times it's represented like this. So let me draw these lines like this. All right, so this is, let's say 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so these numbers represent the energy levels. So let's say that I'm an electron and I am here at 5. Okay, and let's say that I drop to level 2. All right, what that's going to give me is it's going to give me visible light, because anytime I stop at 2, I get visible. Okay? Anytime I stop at 2, anytime I stop at 3, I get infrared. And anytime I stop at 1, I get UV. So here's what I want you to see. With visible, there are specific colors. So this 5, I should have drawn this in blue. 5 actually gives us blue. So that electron, when it fell from level 5 to level 2, would give off blue light. All right. If I'm an electron and I'm at level 4, say I'm at level 4 and I drop to 1. All right. Right here, I'm going to give off UV. All right. Let's say I'm an electron at level 2. All right. I'm here. And I go up to here. Am I going to give off light? No. I have to absorb energy when I go up. Okay. So you've got to know these energy transitions. So remember, anytime I'm from up here and I go to 3, I give off infrared. Anytime I'm up here and I drop to 2, I give off visible. And wherever I'm up here and I drop to UV, it's going to give me, to 1, it's going to give me UV. So a good question that I like to ask is, which has a shorter wavelength? N5 to, what you need, babe? So let's say I'm at N5 and I go to N3, or I am at N5 and I go to N2. So which has the shorter wavelength? So shorter wavelength, remember, means more energy, higher frequency. So this would give me the shorter wavelength, the visible light. Okay? So those are questions like you're going to see in terms of how electrons move through the various energy levels and if they emit light.